You
What?
do you have plans?
Paused?
I think you're live. So
I'm not live.
yes, you are. You are live. Let me. See if Hans is on, and see if he sees you.
Yes.
Is there view?
Can you hear me, Hans? Okay.
Can he see you?
Yes. Then Ivan is leaving me now.
How is the view? Is it clear?
Okay. We'll give it, Hans, about 5 minutes for people to log in, and then we can get started. Is the transmission is good? Oh, okay. I took Yvonne to Verizon, and they put in a new Facebook app, and that's what the problem is. I also sent you Friday's video. Okay. Hey, okay. That's good. Am I visible to participants? Then since I'm muted, I better smile. Okay. I'll have a little introduction, so it'll give them a few more minutes to, but let's wait till 5 after. I've got 4 after. What do you have? Okay, so let's give it 1 more minute. Okay, Hans. Yep, let's get started. So let me know, Hans, when we're going live, please. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. This is my first opportunity in 2018 to come together with you. And I've thought long and hard these last few weeks as to what it is that I'd like to share with you. There are basically 2 areas. One is our theme for 2018. Our theme song for this year is Lose It, then Love It, then Live It. 3 phases to the program, each distinct, each extremely valuable, and each one with a structure and a purpose. And then there was the subtitle for tonight. And basically the subtitle encompasses something that I've talked about since almost day 1 of AccuWeight Loss coming into being. Why put in the time and the effort if we're not going to keep the weight off? I'm not going to speak about any other program. What I will say, though, is this program, AccuWeight Loss, if you do it correctly, has a batting average of 850. 85 out of every 100 people who complete all 3 phases of the program, on average, are keeping the weight off for almost 7 years, 6 years and 11 months. And the reason, and we'll get to it this evening, is that my teacher and mentor, Dr. Chu, realized something that was so simple it was overlooked. I right now could give you the most beautiful, wonderful maintenance program, one that would work without condition. Two issues. One, you would have to do it. And two, you would have to incorporate it into your life. What he recognized as the problem was that we would be giving it to you, you would be doing it, and then you would wake up one day and say, why am I living the way they want me to live? Why am I not living the way I want to live? And that was the reason the programs out there do not have a successful maintenance program. But I'm going to come back to that. There's other things that I need to talk about first. As I said, our theme for this year is lose it, love it, live it. And I'd like to read you something that I wrote down, and I wrote it down because today I wanted to be sure I said it the way I wanted to. And so I'm going to read something to you. All weight loss that is successful is psychological. And the reason is, I could take drugs out of your life and you'd be fine. I could take alcohol out of your life and you would be fine. I can't take food out of your life. And so for you to maintain something that makes you feel good, you're going to have to learn to live with food. And learning to live with food is a personal, psychological journey. One of the things that is a major criteria in my mind, and I'm going to read that to you, it has to do with love. Love is caring put into action. Love is not what we feel. Love is what we do. Many years ago, when I was being trained by Dr. Chu, he said to me, Dr. Schwartz, just because you feel it doesn't make it so. And as we explored that, he was right. And the reason he was right is because feelings that had occurred from actions and behaviors earlier in my life, when reminded them in my way of thinking to circumstances and situations in my present life, even though they were not necessarily accurate, the feelings dredged up in me, my reaction to those feelings, then I would repeat the feelings in my later life. And a simple example would be lightning and thunder. Never experienced it before. I see the lightning, I hear the thunder, I'm terrified and I react. Later in life, there's a flash of light and there's a sound. I respond the way I responded then, when what it really was, someone knocking over a camera, the camera falling to the ground, hearing the noise, and therefore the anxiety that I feel was real in my feeling it, but it was not real based upon what was called for in the reality. Now, 3 phases of the program. Phase number 1, lose it. Losing it means just that. And because it's psychological, let's accept some basic things. AccuWeight Loss will be celebrating in February 20 years in business. Actually 21 years in business, because we incorporated in February 1997. Why talk about AccuWeight Loss if it's existed for 21 years? We know that it works. What we need to talk about is you, because it only works if you do it. And so step number 1, you have to be important enough in your life to yourself to put into action a plan, meaning the structure of AccuWeight Loss, and bypass in some way, shape, or form the feelings that are going to be aroused. What feelings? The power of food to comfort, the power of food to help you psychologically escape. If those elements are under control, think about it. We've promised you that every single 30 days, no cheating, you're going to lose in total health 15 pounds and only fat. You can't say that for 21 years unless it actually happens. And so we have to move away from the program itself and go to the head. Now, here is the problem. Sigmund Freud, one of the greatest psychiatrists ever to live, said that the first 5 years of life, your character and your personality are basically formed. Each of us is the after byproduct of that 5-year-old's development. And why do I say that? Because that 5-year-old is only a child. Its character and personality has been formed, but it knows nothing about life. It knows nothing about consequences. But who we are today has grown out of that base. Many of you have heard me say that no adult has any fun if they do not behave as though they were a child. So in you and in me, there is a child. And when we are emotional, we're angry, we're upset, we're depressed, we're sad, we're frightened, we're bored, we're annoyed. Those emotions contradict the word fun. When you feel that way, how can you have fun? And that child who lives within us, who's 5 years old, is thwarted. And when children are thwarted, they react. And out of that reaction are the feelings that we get, which lead to behaviors which cause us to cheat. And when we cheat, we don't get what we set out for, which is the weight loss. And so I created for you the magic protocol, which we're not going to talk about today, but I will answer anyone. And if someone asks the question during a question and answer period, I will respond to it then. But I created the magic protocol because it eliminates all emotionality except for dealing with that child, which I will explain. Now, when you lose weight, it feels absolutely marvelous and terrific because it takes you to love, to care about yourself, to put that caring about yourself into action. And when that action is rewarded by weight loss, it reinforces the behavior. And so you lose the weight. The reason that it works is the Chinese, and that's where I learned the program from Dr. Chu, had over 1,000 years ago insight that today is just being understood in more scientific manners. One of the biggest trends today is something called intermittent fasting. And when you think about it, from 6 p.m. till 12 p.m. the following day, you don't eat. That's intermittent fasting. The body's need for energy is greatest between 12 noon and 6 p.m. So if you eat before 12 p.m. or after 6 p.m., the body will digest the food, but because energy needs are less, food is stored as fat. I could go on, but I'm not going to. Phase 1 is to love yourself enough to put into action, caring enough about yourself behaviorally to do the program. You will lose a minimum of 15 pounds every 30 days, only fat. Phase 2. Once you have lost it, aren't you in love with what's there? And so now we take a period of time to learn how to love that second level. And we love it by learning what to do to maintain what you achieved, something that you're happy with. And you're happy with it because you created it. You made it happen. And feeling good about yourself because you had enough power and love in yourself to cause it to happen. There was no magic involved. And that phase brings you to phase 3. And phase 3 is live it. Now that I have achieved all of this, living with it. Now, here is the key. If you love, and I tell you what to do, how long is it going to take you to argue and fight with me? But if you tell me how you want to live, and I show you how to do what you want, who are you going to fight with? If you're telling the truth, and that's how you want to live, and I teach you, we teach you, AccuWeight Loss teaches you how to do what you want to do, it's going to happen. Lose it, love it, live it. Now, let's talk about the living it, the maintenance. One aspect I have to inject at this point is something that in your initial orientation to the program, there was something about weight set point. If you look at your history, you will notice that your weight gain over whatever period of time was not a straight line. There were steps. And each one of those steps was a set point. I like the analogy of using a thermostat. The thermostat is set at 72. We're comfortable with it. Everything is fine. It's winter. Someone opens the window. The cold air comes in. The temperature drops from 72 to 51. There's a significant difference. The window is now closed. The furnace turns on and takes you back to 72. So that when you finish the program, your set point is very close to where you began, despite the fact that you lost the weight. So unless you reteach the body that this is the new set point, it's going to push you to go back. And you've experienced that in almost every case when you finished any diet at all. We are going to help you through that and teach you how to live the way you want to live, not teach you what we think you should do to live to keep the weight off. Now, here's where we are today. It's 2018. Holidays are over. It's a new beginning. One of the biggest benefits of Weight Loss, from my point of view, is the support system that we have. We have groups, we have question and answer, we have videos, we have recipes, we have counselors. But no one can make you do anything that you don't want to do. If you use the support systems, then you become one of the 85% that is going to keep the weight off, feel good about themselves, and the one thing that gives me the biggest thrill, I watch people's behavior and attitude change. I watch the confidence that grows in them. I watch how they change behaviorally. And I shared with you one day, a few years ago, a guy who worked for a company, was extremely overweight. He'd come in, he'd go to work, he'd go home, he'd come in, he'd go to work, he'd go home. Through fortune, he came to Weight Loss and lost significant weight. After being with the company for 9 years, people started to notice his weight loss, and he started interacting with people in ways in which he had never interacted before. He lost the weight. For the first time in almost 10 years working for a program, for a company, he got a promotion. And you know what's exciting? He now owns the company. And he's as happy as a lark and has kept the weight off. I think I've said enough for today. Hans, I'd like to go to question and answers. So let's open the floor. The answer is, first, let me remind all of you, Weight Loss is not a diet. It's a chemical weight loss program, and the caloric intake is irrelevant because the amount of calories that you are taking in will not sustain you. Instead, the pressure from the acupressure beads, and I'm just going to simplify it, cause your liver to turn to your stored fat, convert your stored fat into glycogen. Glycogen is a form of sugar, so you're living 24 hours a day, 7 days a week off your fat. Now, the program is chemical. It takes 5 ounces of milk to make 1 ounce of cottage cheese. Cottage cheese, therefore, even low fat, is chemically reactive differently. So 4 ounces of cottage cheese would be your food for the day. It will change the chemistry, and therefore, since the program is chemical, it's the reason you can't use cottage cheese. Next question. Transitioning is creating a lifestyle that works for you. Now, this is critically important. No matter where you go, people have eating behaviors. Your body needs a certain amount of nutrition to sustain itself. And if that nutrition is, and I'm going to, just for the sake of discussion, use the word balanced. If that nutrition is balanced, it makes no difference what you do hour-wise as long as you can incorporate it. To maintain a 12 to 6 eating regimen is perfectly fine as long as you recognize that the same level of calorie intake as we use on the program will not sustain you. That you have to take in between 12 and 6 if you're going to stay there for the rest of your life, has to bring in enough nutrition to sustain you. So the hours are not important. What you eat is not important. It's how you eat. So the answer to your question is, you're going to design your own way of life. And we're going to hold your hand as you go through that period of time. How you do it is up to you. And we'll be there to support you. Next question, Hans? Since I was a little child, this thing called a food pyramid has changed. Now, I am not going to get into the discussion of the validity. When this program was initially created in China, cattle almost did not exist. And Dr. Chu told me that when this program was developed in China, they used pig's milk. And because that is foreign and alien to us here in this country, when he was doing the program, he did the study that we did informally, and we did it because he wanted to determine whether cow's milk would be appropriate for the program to work as opposed to pig's milk. We then discovered that many people did better with goat's milk. Maybe because the digestive system of goats is different, the lactose intolerant people did not have a problem. Now, milk, two things. It is your major source of protein, number one. And because milk contains an emulsifier, the milk days help the body to melt fat. We have many substitutes. We can discuss them. Hemp milk is one. I have a personal bias because of the high phytoestrogen level of soy and the lack of fat in soy. I have a personal bias against soy milk, but there is hemp milk. There is a product on the market called Ripple, which is pea protein. And so there are many substitutes that you can use, and you can get them either directly from me or from your counselor. So milk is there because it's your major source of protein and because the milk days liquefy fat. Hans? Yes. The MAGIC protocol can be accessed through your counselor or from me directly. It is easy to follow, and it works 100% of the time. Now, I need to share something with you about the MAGIC protocol. Those people who simply do it are successful, period. Do the MAGIC protocol, it works. Now you do the MAGIC protocol because you know if you do it, it will work. The problem with the MAGIC protocol is the child who lives within you. Remember that the MAGIC protocol is going to get you to verbalize, to breathe, and to acknowledge that you're using something that is inferior to the cheat that you want to substitute for that cheat. The child within you wants you to have that cheat. And if you're really honest, you want that cheat as well. And so in order not to cheat, you have to say to that child within you the truth. I want that cheat as much as you. But if I listen to you, I'm only going to be happy for a moment. But if I substitute this candy for the cheat, I'm going to give up the cheat, but I'm going to move a step closer to what's really going to make me happy. So, kiddo, come on, join me. Accept the fact that it's a substitute. Now, here is the key. You are in life more likely to be a victim if you are passive. So you cannot say no and be successful. So instead of saying no proactively, you're putting the candy in your mouth. But here's the key, people. The instant you put the candy in your mouth, you lose your power because the candy overpowers so that you cannot cheat. But think about it. You have to give up your power to get the power of control back in your life. And that's why discussion is critical. That's why you have to verbalize. That's why you have to talk about it. That's why you have to share. Magic Protocol is available all over. Call in. More than happy to share with you. Next question, Hans. That's not a question that I can answer. And let me explain why. You could drink your milk. You could eat your food. All of it at 5 after 12. I had a woman come in many years ago while we were doing psychotherapy and said, "Doctor, I'm really angry. I know I self-sabotage, and I'm also very sexually active, and I like men to use protection. Every once in a while, I carry a pin with me, and when my partner is not looking, I put a hole in the condom. What do you think?" My answer is the same. You're taking a risk. You're taking a risk. If that's how you're going to live, try to back off and understand that you're not looking for another way. Anything you do every once in a while is not going to be a problem. But if you regularly eat after 6 or before 12, those boundaries are going to expand no matter what you say, and you're going to be less successful. Hans? What are the best foods to add in? Nothing has basically changed. Someone asked me, I want a structure. I just want someone to tell me what to do. The Mediterranean diet basically is extremely healthy. Phase 2 of the South Beach diet is healthy. You all know the drill. Processed foods are not healthy. The basic diet for health should be fruits, be careful, not too many, vegetables, and some protein, preferably healthy fish. Starches are wonderful. They give you flavor, they give you taste. But starches, not carbohydrates, starches are an empty food because they raise the blood sugar, and by raising the blood sugar, you produce more insulin, which knocks down the blood sugar, and that gets to be a problem with blood sugars going up and down. So a diet regimen that is good for you has to be created. Don't look for something. Do the phase 2 of the program. Learn how to love it. Create, develop, design with your counselor a program that fits your lifestyle. And once it fits your lifestyle, you're going to be doing what you want to do. So you'll be doing what you want to do, and you're going to be keeping the weight off. Hans? By reading and listening to the orientation. The explanation is simple. The beads block the brain's ability to count calories, so your body doesn't realize it's being starved. The milk days liquefy fat and provide you protein. The fruit vegetable days, high in enzymes, dissolve the liquefied fat. The body does not go into starvation mode because the beads block the body's ability to count calories. So you lose weight by burning fat without going into starvation mode. This is not a ketotic diet, and it is not a diet. It's a weight loss program because you cannot live on it. Once you reach your goal, you must go off. And what you go off to, being designed by yourself, is a lifestyle that you can live. It's not complicated. It's as simple as I just stated. Hans? Okay. That's a very important question. It goes back to what I said earlier. People use food, which is extremely emotionally powerful, for comfort and escape. And that will never change. So creating a lifestyle that you can live with is important. People who return after 2, 3, 5, 8, 10 years have initially changed their lifestyle, and then life circumstances entered in, and they got lost. And eating began to go back to that eating for escape, for comfort. And even though the comfort is short-lived, it's comfort. My father-in-law was a 3-pack a day smoker. He was also Orthodox Jewish. 5 minutes before the Sabbath, he would have his last cigarette. And in round numbers, for the next 24 hours, he never had a cigarette. And from the look of him, it never bothered him. 5 minutes before the Sabbath ended, he would start to pace. And the moment that the Sabbath had ended, out he would go and have his first cigarette of the new week. Pure psychology overrode his addiction. So as long as he had a structure that he could live with, he had no problem living with it. Life circumstances cause it. You've put on the weight. What's the problem? You know how to take it off. Just remember, if you lose the weight, build in a structure that will help you keep it off. And learn to forgive yourself. It was your choice. You put on the weight because it was your choice. Now take it off because it's your choice. Structure, confidence, self-love. Act like the adult that you like about yourself. And I'll be glad to help you out. Hans? Because the reason you have to do 2 milk, 2 fruit, vegetables has nothing to do with the amount of fat in your body. It has to do with chemistry. 2 molecules hydrogen, 1 molecule oxygen. Combine them. Every single time you combine them, you have water. 2 hydrogen, 1 oxygen, H2O, 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 water, 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 water. Now, I'm going to do what you want. Instead of 2 milk days, I'm going to make it 3 milk days. Instead of 2 vegetable days, I'm going to make it 1 vegetable day. It's no longer acute weight loss. It's something else. And because the chemistry is not there, and now you're overlooking one other factor. I am promising you, if you do 2 days, 2 days, 2 days, 2 days, 2 days, 2 milk, 2 fruit vegetable, 2 milk, 2 fruit vegetable, you're going to lose 15 pounds in total health every single 30 days and only fat. Why would I want to alter that in any way? It gives me what I want. Where in total health can you lose 15 pounds in 30 days, only fat, in total health, with all kinds of other benefits that go along with it? So therefore, the answer is it's chemical, it's good for you, and I love when people have that look on their face when they've broken the 15. Hans? All of the research that I have read indicates that heartburn, as strange as it may seem, is a reaction to low stomach acid. And therefore, I would recommend that anyone who has that symptom of having heartburn call me directly so I can discuss with them the individual plan that would fit their lifestyle. But again, I'm suggesting that the reason for the heartburn is low stomach acid. And to my knowledge, those people who use the PPIs, the purple pill, and things of that sort, stay on it for the rest of their lives, and they never cure the problem, they just control it. So give me a call, and I'll be more than happy to discuss it with you. Hans? Going on vacation, what should I do? The answer is have a plan. What you have to keep in mind is that you have two choices. Do the program or don't do the program. You've said I'm going on a trip for X number of days, and you've also said that you're not going to do the program. Now, everything up to this point is clear. You said what you're going to do. Now, I am going to throw in, let's add, I'm going to also give up weight loss in favor of no weight gain. Because why should I go away, gain the weight, and be punished for it since I'm going away? Therefore, whatever protocol days you use will control any weight gain, and therefore, for the period of time that you go away, use whichever the vacation protocol or the work protocol. The only thing I will add, when you return, immediately restart with 2 dairy days. Next question, Hans. That's an interesting question. I think a surfeit of anything diminishes its former quality. And I apologize for that. That was my mother. My mother tried to teach me, and she would teach me using statements like that. And what she really meant is that too much of a good thing is too much. Just be sensible. The electrolytes are natural minerals. They replace minerals that the body urinates out or uses up. And too much of a good thing is too much. So I don't know what excessive means. And if you're just sensible, there's not going to be any problem at all. So use the electrolytes as they make you feel good, and everything will be fine. Next question, Hans? Speed of massaging the beads is not relevant. Whether you do them fast or whether you do them slow, each revolution is a revolution. And it's the number of revolutions which are the issue. So whether they take place over 20 seconds or whether they take place over 30 seconds is irrelevant. The relevance is that you massage the beads so that you send the neural impulse to the hypothalamus, which stimulates the brain and causes the program to work. Hans? Can you have coconuts? Absolutely. But you have to stick to the regimen. 2 fruits, approximately 8 ounces per fruit. So if you're going to use coconut as a fruit, 8 ounces of coconut would be fine. Any day that's a vegetable day. And if you're going to use coconut as a vegetable in your salad, then definitely use it by weight. Next question, Hans. No, being lightheaded is not normal after, let's say, a maximum of 2 weeks. Lightheadedness is a symptom of blood sugar that is not stable. So that you would be someone that I would ask to call me at the West Orange office. The number is listed on the website. Call me there, name, number. I will call you back to discuss it and help you resolve the problem. But the answer is there has to be another reason why lightheadedness is continuing. So please give a call. Hans? I recommend against coconut water because from a chemical point of view, I cannot anticipate, and it is not 0 calories. So we're talking about elements of coconut, triglyceride issues, calorie issues. So I would have to recommend against using coconut water, except, maybe a half a glass if it is very soothing or comforting for you. But beyond that, the answer would have to be no. Hans? Okay. There are 3 side effects on the program, and to my knowledge, these are the only 3 side effects. Side effect number 1, I just answered partially. During the first week to 10 days, there is the possibility of lightheadedness as a symptom. It is the detoxification and the realignment occurring between the pancreas and the liver. All overweight people, to some extent, are insulin resistant, which means the body uses more insulin to do the same job that another non-insulin resistant person would do. Therefore, there is pressure on the body, low blood sugar turning up as the symptom. That's why we recommend a teaspoon of honey dissolved in hot liquid. It does not have to be hot when you drink it, because honey is very low in the glycemic index, so it will not raise the blood sugar, but will put a floor stop the blood sugar from dropping. The body then takes over, normalizes the blood sugar. And as I said, maybe 10 days, that generally speaking, to a small number of people will happen. Side effect number 2, headaches. Because of the cleansing and detoxifying, because of the withdrawal from toxins in that process of detoxification, headaches are possible. Whatever analgesic you normally use should be sufficient to deal with that symptom. The third symptom is to recognize that the amount of food that you're taking in is very small. Therefore, the body's process of elimination, going to the bathroom, forming a stool, in many people, it's unusual for them to go to the bathroom more than 2 or 3 times a week because the body is not producing enough waste to form a stool. So there is a difference between going to the bathroom, the frequency, and being constipated, where symptomatically we're talking about small, dry little balls for the stool. Now, the stool itself normally has a shape and is soft. What has happened is the body has become dehydrated. The body went into the garbage department to use the water to live on and dried out the stool. So the recommendation is, number 1, to make sure you drink enough water. And symptomatically, if you want to address that, then I recommend something like Benefiber or Metamucil, sugar-free, taking some every night. That will help form stool. It will prevent constipation. And those are the 3 areas that come up. Anything else would be extremely unusual. Hans, I guess that's my last question. And therefore, I want to thank all of you for participating. In future sessions, I want to talk specifically about how, from a behavioral point of view, we change our lives to become someone that you like better and better and better, because the behavior of that person makes you feel good. If you're feeling good about how you behave, then you're demonstrating love of yourself. If you love yourself and love your behavior, it's going to change your whole reaction to the world. And as your reaction to the world changes, other changes occur. And the law of attraction begins to manifest itself in very interesting ways. And remember what the law of attraction says. If I send out fear and anxiety and sadness, it's going to connect with fear, anxiety, and sadness. But if I project out love and confidence, it's going to attract the same. Thank you for tuning in. Hope to hear from you and see you again soon. Take care.